julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 woo!
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sam, and today I want to show you my budget desk setup that I put together just a few weeks ago. Now, I gave myself a budget of under $150, but to be honest, I already had a bunch of stuff laying around, and well, free stuff is free stuff, right? It sounds crazy to say this, but for the last 3 years, I've been working from home, something that I'm sure many of you also have had to do. Before this year, I've tried to keep my work away from my bedroom because I wanted to have a routine that didn't encourage me to work 24/7, right? Sometimes you really have to physically remove the work elements from your personal life. And I wanted to make sure that the first thing that I saw when I woke up wasn't the daunting computer screen filled with 1,000 emails that I needed to respond to. So really for the greater part of the last few years, my office was in this living room where I'm actually filming this video right now. I used to have a big L desk here, and I recently swapped it over to this small rolling desk that functions as a mobile work and film station. If you'd like a separate video on this small station, give this video a like, and I'll drop a video about this setup soon. 2022 hit, and I knew I had to change some things around because, like every single one of us, the reality is that work and life all use the same platforms, and it's honestly quite hard to make that divide. So I started 2022 changing up my bedroom configuration to accommodate actually 2 desks, one for me and one for my wife, so that we can have a comfortable arrangement to write, chat with family and friends, and do some catch-up work at night. I didn't really intend for the desks to be a formal place for us to work, but then we both got COVID, and it actually really worked out because we had a great place to work while we were staying in quarantine and safe and everything like that. For the desk, I'm using the cheapest of cheap. I'm using a 55-inch IKEA white tabletop with the accompanying Adil legs. I think the total cost is around less than $55. And instead of pairing it with the typical Alex drawer pairing, I stuck an IKEA mom nightstand that I bought for $20 off of Facebook Marketplace. I'm really enjoying this combo, even though it's not as traditional as people usually do it, because it actually provides not only extra storage on my right by the additional 2 drawers, and don't look at them right now because they're a huge mess, but the nightstand also conveniently provides another tabletop where I stick my laptop to hide it from you. So it's been really nice, and I'm currently using the Dell XPS 9500, and I've been using it in clamshell mode, specifically with the Habit cooling pad, and I've had this thing for many, many years. I used to have a loud Asus laptop, and I needed this thing to kind of cool it as just extra insurance when you have the Dell XPS in clamshell mode, because it can actually affect performance. I also picked up a generic used monitor arm for $5. It doesn't have a brand or anything like that, but I'll try to find a similar product and link it in the description below. I'll also post a bunch of affiliate links, and anything that you're interested in, definitely check out the affiliate links, and it'll support the channel just a little bit. So the monitor arm is currently holding my super heavy and old 24-inch Asus monitor that honestly needs to be replaced sometime soon. On top of the monitor, I bought this, I think it was on discount, $12, Lofter monitor light off Amazon. It certainly isn't the same quality as like a BenQ monitor light or anything like that, but at a fraction of the cost, it honestly impressed me. It has various light color modes. It can change the brightness at a touch of finger, and plus it remembers your settings. Unlike some of the lights that I've tried previously, it remembers your settings when you turn it on and off. So it's a really great budget option. Definitely check it out. Because my laptop is sitting below my desk, I use an old, Bluetooth speaker connected to the aux jack, monitor jack, to feed audio straight from my laptop. I've noticed nothing, no audible lag or anything like that, and that you might see from, normally like Bluetooth transmission, especially if it's a little bit further away. And it's been working out great for me. On to the peripherals. Let's start with the keyboard first. I'm actually currently trying out and I've been using the Keychron K4 version 1. Now, I told you this is a budget build, so I actually purchased this used for $35. So it's been a really great addition. Unfortunately, it's not with the switches that I want. These are blue switches, blue opticals in the aluminum frame, RGB and everything like that, even though I don't really use RGB a lot. I wish it was in brown or red switches, but this is $35, so I don't have anything to complain about. In terms of the keyboard itself, the build quality is solid, and I can do a whole review on the keyboard, compare this to other versions, because I actually own a few other Keychron keyboards. The aluminum bezels are nice. You can take them off if you don't like them. It has a nice weight to it. The plastic is nice and solid. There's very little flex on the keyboard itself. Now it allows for Bluetooth connectivity up to 3 devices. You'll see that easily changed by the function keys, and then you press the accompanying Bluetooth buttons, and as well as it can function in wired mode as well. There is no 2.4 gigahertz dongle, but for what it's worth, I mostly use it actually in Bluetooth because I don't do too much intensive gaming or anything like that, and it's been fine for me just for typing normally. Now, a lot of people complained about the version 1 mainly because it sits really flat and it's high up against the desk. But I've really had no issue with that, mainly because I use a wrist rest myself when I type. And it does have these really nice little kick-up feet in the back, and it gives a nice angle to it. Now, the version 2, they did fix this by making it less, it's no longer just a flat profile on the bottom, and now it's a little bit more like this. It's slanted, more triangular. Now, honestly though, this looks to me nicer sitting flat on the desk when you, aesthetically purposes, you want to present your desk. So I think it's nice. In terms of my mouse, I'm currently using the Microsoft Bluetooth ergonomic mouse. Now, a lot of creatives and people on YouTube, they're using the MX Master mouse by Logitech. Probably the newest one, I think, is the Master 3. Why did I choose this? Well, first of all, because I'm on a budget. I'm trying to make this a budget build. I felt like it had all the needs that I wanted. Specifically, if you turn it around, it actually carries 3 separate devices that I can connect to. And if you're switching between devices, it's really, really nice. With the click of a button, you can go from one device to another. And another really important thing is having an actual dedicated on-off switch, which, by the way, the Keychron keyboard also has, because I don't leave my things on all the time. I'm traveling and I want to conserve as much battery as possible. Unfortunately, this does use AAA batteries in the back, but with the on-off switch, I'm finding that it really lasts a long time, especially if you're using a good AAA battery. Now, I did have the white version of this mouse as well, and it looked really, really nice. But I will warn you, stay away from any of the lighter versions of this particular mouse. Mainly because they do have some problems with yellowing. So definitely, if you're interested in this mouse, get the black version. Now, I also have sitting on my desk a black PU leather desk pad, and it was actually sent over to me by my friend Brian at Modern Stationery. He has all kinds of colors and textile options. So definitely check out his website if you're interested, and I'll link that in the description below as well. I bought some other mouse pads off Facebook for like 50 cents. This one is of a famous Japanese wave painting, and I got a few other colors as well. I think a lot of times you can really buy things used, especially some of the smaller things, and you can get it much cheaper locally. So definitely advise. Also, it's saving the environment just by using either used items or items that has been discounted or has been taken off the shelf and are just being sold for cheap. At least you can give it another shelf life and give it some good use. So definitely encourage that for our environment's sake. Buying used isn't always a bad choice. Now, one other thing that I bought used, which I'm actually really excited about, it's been really fantastic, is this little really cool looking hexagonal, it's got a little smiley face on there that you hide it. But this is actually a little coaster for any hot beverages. If I'm drinking teas or anything like that, I'm able to plop it on my desktop. So that's been just really fantastic. I will try to find something like this on Amazon. I'm sure there's a bunch, maybe for a few dollars, but I bought it for 50 cents. Again, just really, really cheap stuff. Like many of you, I'm sure, during the pandemic, when you're shut in, we've all developed like different hobbies, and I actually started looking into kind of the world of aquascaping, and I started my own shrimp tank, fish tank downstairs. This is my 1 gallon shrimp tank. It's actually an experimental tank because I'm using a lot of local native plants here in my area, and I'm trying it out. Some are growing better than others, as you can see. It's due for a water change as well. But I started with only 2 shrimp in this tank particularly. It now has more than 14, and for 1 gallon, I definitely need to start removing some of them to give it more space to grow. And I started a new one recently, and I'm currently cycling right now, and I'm gonna hopefully transfer some of the shrimp over there on the left side of my desk on top of my drawers. So it's just been a really cool hobby of mine. If you're into shrimp tanks or fish tanks and aquascaping and things like that, definitely drop a comment down below. I can share with you more about what I've learned in the hobby and what I've learned from people that have been doing this for many, many years. And that's pretty much it, besides for some random things that I have sitting on my desk, like I have my Apple Watch charger. Right now I'm using the Series 3 still, although I did pick up the Series 4 and I'm testing it out right now. I'll be sharing my thoughts on that. They're older watches, but for me they've been really functioning well. I have some things like plants that I put on just to give it some life, as well as this old desk lamp that I've had for a very long time that still serves its purpose, provides good light on the side of my desk. Now underneath my desk itself, I have a cable box that I hide all my cords in, as well as some of the other cords from my shrimp tank, from the filters and things like that I use. I actually just hide right behind my nightstand, the IKEA drawers, and it's been really working really well. All the other cables, like my lighting, my monitor, and everything like that, I stick inside this cable management box. It's been really nice. And I think, you can judge for yourself. I think for the most part, it's pretty clean. I actually had this cable box, but I'll find a similar one. I think it goes for around I don't remember, $40 or something off Amazon. And I bought it, I think, refurbished as well. Underneath and also above, I actually installed these RGB LED light strips. Now, the quality of these light strips, and I'm into filmmaking, the CRI values of these light strips are really, really bad. But if you sometimes just want to add some extra ambiance to your setup, like if you're watching a movie or something like that, it can be nice. I decided not to use the adhesive because I knew this was going to be a temporary light setup. And so what I did was I actually used 3M command hooks, and I put 4, 2 on each side of my monitor, and I kind of just crisscrossed it and then wrapped it around my desk legs until I ran out of footage. So I think it really worked out fine. It's obviously not the cleanest setup in the world, but hopefully you'll forgive me for just being able to see some of the LEDs if you really look at it. But again, I don't think anybody's really looking underneath my desk and seeing whether or not I have my LED lights exposed or what I do with them. So for the purpose of getting lighting and I think getting that ambiance in there, I'm not complaining too much. The last thing is my chair. It's a cheap chair, and I have a Herman & Miller chair. I have a steel case chair at other locations. This is a chair that I got from my neighbor. He was just throwing it out and tossing it away. And honestly, I think it works really well. The lumbar support is honestly better than some chairs that I've sat in, even including this nice chair that I'm sitting on right now. And I just feel for the price and for what I'm getting, it honestly isn't half bad. I'll try to find something similar, maybe off Walmart or Amazon, just to share with you what this product is. But honestly, I don't even know because it's used and it's from my neighbor. So thank you, neighbor. Now, if you've stayed this long, please consider subscribing to the channel, like and subscribe, as well as follow me on social media. I'm really looking forward to making more of these videos in my spare time and hopefully just share some of my impressions and some of the things that I do every day, as well as some tech-related reviews coming soon from keyboards that I've used in the past, peripherals and things like that. I'd love to just share with you my kind of real-life impressions and experience with some of that tech. If you have anything that you want me to review or anything like that, just drop me a comment and I'll definitely get back to you. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed this little desk tour, and thanks y'all, and stay safe.